G'day guys. Hello everyone, thank you for coming out. I really appreciate you being here. As you may be aware, I'm here to announce that I have signed a 1-year contract to coach the RinFit Slugs in the 2026 SuperCoach season. Now, it is only a 1-year contract, and I can understand the Slugs' decision to only sign me on a 1-year contract, given over the past few seasons, and it has shown in my team's results, that I have become quite disillusioned, demotivated in the SuperCoach scene. But I'm here to say that I have a renewed passion, that I'm going to bring vigor to this role in coaching the Slugs, that I'm going to be present, and we're going to strive for great things. The Slugs can see from my historical SuperCoach record that I have the pedigree, I have the knowledge, and I have the motivation to do so. Yes, first question.
You mentioned your pedigree. Can you walk us through your history?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I'll start with my SuperCoach resume. It started off quite impressively before a bit of a dip, as you are probably aware, especially if you've been following in recent seasons. But I do have some pedigree. It wasn't always a dip. I look at my SuperCoach records. I started in reserve grade in 2016. I led the flippers in my first season as a coach. There were jitters, there was a steep learning curve. I was learning how the game worked. We didn't have a great season. We obviously didn't feature in the top 4 in the prelims or anything like that. Our final ranking was 48,000. So, but we did grow quite a lot in the last half of the season compared to the start of the year. So that was exciting signs, and better not lose, the team that picked me up for my first grade coaching experience in 2017. They saw the potential in me, and it was a dream year, 2017. We drove the team to an inaugural premiership. We also finished with the ranking of 647th overall. We claimed a commemorative SuperCoach keyring, which, you know, pretty rare to come by, I must say. That's part of my favorite silverware these days. And I was back with the club in 2018. They signed me on a 3-year deal through 2018 to 2020. We climbed to another premiership in 2018 in our league. Pretty incredible. We were also tracking towards the top 1,000 most of the year for overall. We dropped at the end of the season with a bit of a rough end, but still finished 2,865th. Pretty good work, and I mean, my resume is looking pretty good at this stage. My 3rd year at the Better Not Lose club was 2019. A 3rd straight league premiership. Things were golden. They were the glory days. They really were. Our overall rank did drop to 6,322nd. However, we kept the fans happy with a league win, and there's not much more that I could ask for the boys than that. 2020, we took the team to a 4th grand final. Pretty exciting stuff, although maybe we lost the drive a little bit because we did go down in that grand final, our first grand final loss, unfortunately. But we did finish the year in 3,684th. I wish in the 300s, but maybe this year. The club signed me for a further 3-year deals on a new contract. That kicked off in 2021. This is where things took a bit of a turn. Complacency had set in, I guess. I drove the team to its lowest ever rank of 12,593rd. And we even missed the grand final, dropping out in the prelims. And this was sort of the start of the end. 2022, the decline continued. We had a massive slip in the overall rankings to 27,149. That's something I'm not proud of, especially at a club like Better Not Lose, who has such high standards. We went out in the finals in week 1, and the club, they grew despondent to me, and rightfully so. You know, I was going through a bad patch. My passion had dwindled. I was spiraling. You know, I wasn't attending every training session. I wasn't at every game, and it showed in the results. It really did. And they cut my contract. They ripped it up. I didn't see through the final year of the contract, unfortunately, and I almost took a year off in 2023 just to try and clear my head, as many people might know. Until I signed a last-minute contract in reserve grade with a team called the Apparition, which you might remember. I didn't give them the love they needed. They know that, I know that. we started strong. We lost players through Origin. I grew demotivated. I lost hope in the team, in myself, and the wheels fell off. And the club let me go at the end of the season, dropping out in week 1 of the finals, and we finished with a ranking of 34,468. So it wasn't impressive. It wasn't impressive, and I was lucky to sign another contract, but it was only in 3rd grade. So 2024, I signed on to coach the placeholder team, and I neglected it in the first half of the season. 3rd grade, I didn't take it seriously. I pulled my act together a little bit towards the end of the season. We drove to a prelim, which was enough to get me a contract for the next year. We did finish in a ranking of 26,000th, so not very impressive. But we hovered at 17,000th at Pass of the Year, which for a 3rd grade side, that's respectable. And the team saw promotion to reserve grade in 2025, and I knew with the output that I was, giving the boys and the team that, I couldn't deliver in reserve grade, and I didn't. It was shambles. My career was in shambles. The team was in shambles. We missed the top 8. That's the first time in my history in the SuperCoach leagues that I'd ever missed the top 8. And we finished a woeful 56,957th. And this was the lowest point of my career. Deep humiliation. I didn't show up to trainings. There was no plan. The captain didn't play most weeks. We didn't update the team. Like, people were out injured, and I was still putting them out there in the 17. It just, it was horrendous. And I'm sorry to say that team placeholder has now dismantled and dropped altogether, which is sad because I know I drove them there. And so my career was on a knife's edge. That is until, of course, the RinFit Slugs threw me a lifeline this year with this 1-year contract. It's my first year back in 1st grade. I haven't been here since 2022 when I was with Better Not Lose, and I'm hoping to do much better than we did in 2022. The Slugs have shown a lot of faith in me, and I want to return that faith. I promise all the fans, the staff here at the RinFit Slugs, that I'm going to give it my all. We're deep in the research this year. We're listening to the experts, and I've reignited my passion. And we have a goal to finish top 4 in our league. We also have a goal of top 5,000 overall. So we're aiming high. This is 1st grade after all. This is in the lower leagues. This is serious stuff. Yes, next question.
How are you going to make this club a success?
Great question. I want to build a club with a unique identity. We want to have a mix of youth and experience. We don't just want stars. We want the up-and-comers, the guys that haven't had the chance to shine yet. And there's some out there, and I think there's some blockbuster years in place. We want complementing players. We don't just want, good players. We want players that will complement each other. We want some workhorses. We want some players with flair who can score tries and break the game open. So we're looking to build a well-balanced team of experience and youth. It's a great question. As I mentioned earlier, I have previously made a player a captain who hasn't even been playing, it's disgraceful, and it's a real downer to the rest of the team. You can't win like that. I'm going to pick captains this year the team can rely on. I'm looking for not just the flashy guys, but the safe guys, the guys that will motivate the team, and we're hoping to have a lot of those guys here at the Slugs. So it's going to be, opposition for positions and also for that captaincy.
Do you actually plan to show up at training this time?
Yeah, no, I will be at trainings. Train hard, plan well, and we won't let a bad week derail us. If you followed my career, you know that has happened before at Better Not Lose. Not this year. We have a motto here at the RinFit Slugs this year, and it is, you can't win them all. So, if you win 2 weeks and lose 1, that's fine. Don't let it derail your season, because statistically you just can't. You can't win them all.
The season's not far off. When will your team be announced?
Yeah. Round 1 kicks off this Sunday in Vegas. and we will sit down on the weekend and we'll announce our first official signings to the RinFit Slugs, which is very exciting. So these will just be the players from the North Queensland Cowboys, Newcastle Knights, St George Illawarra Dragons and the Canterbury Bulldogs. If that's all from the media here, I will now take any questions down in the comments. Until then, keep on slugging.